Hello, Louis. You've met so many people through your career and soaked in so many stories. I wonder, are you ever curious about making a fiction? Is there a TV show or film or fictional book inside of you? What's stopping you?
Oh, I like that. She's hit me in quite a tender spot because there's actually a part of me that does nurture a dream of writing something, whether it would be a novel or a TV series, a drama, or some kind of a film. What you get with fiction is an ability to touch on subjects where the vulnerability, the sensitivity, and the extremity is such that were it a documentary, you would worry about duty of care, right? Like, so for example, kids growing up in families that are in some way abusive, kind of really strange, stories about strange predatory people, or the dynamics of how criminal behavior takes place, or how vulnerable people are exploited. I'm making it sound like a bundle of laughs, like I'm going to write the most hideous book or film. Whether it's Jimmy Savile's victims or what happened in Rotherham and elsewhere, they're very hard to tell fully and deeply in documentary because the people involved are so, don't always want to talk about it or share their reality. And documentary makers, for that reason, I think often migrate towards fictional film. And what is stopping me is the fact that actually maybe I think I wouldn't be that good at it. There's 20 or even 100 writers, Russell T Davies, Michaela herself, and many others who perhaps could write that better than me, and it's a big risk. But something I should, I don't know, maybe think about. Thank you for that great question, Michaela. And by the way, I feel flattered to imagine that you think I might be capable of that. We've got a question from Rylan Clark-Neal, sometime reality TV show star and now beloved broadcaster.
Hi Louis, it's Rylan. I just want to say a massive thank you for our lovely chat on your Grounded podcast, but I'm going to roll reverse. I've got a question for you. Now, as you know, I worked on Big Brother for years, so I would like to know, if you went into the celebrity Big Brother house, who'd be your list of dream housemates? And more importantly, who'd be your list of nightmare housemates?
Oh my goodness. Dream housemates and nightmare housemates. You've got to think about this tactically, don't you? I think dream housemates, it would be, for some reason, I'm thinking about my mental health and well-being, and Joe Wicks is coming to mind. He could lead me in kind of morning exercise routine. He seems like a nice person. I'm thinking about food. Well, Gordon Ramsay, he seems like he's quite volatile. Maybe Hugh Fearnley-Whittingstall. He seems, or Jamie Oliver, Björk, talented musician. She's eccentric, but that might add a bit of spice. Oh, Dalai Lama, he's a peacemaker, right? Desmond Tutu, I met him once backstage at an Irish chat show. He enjoyed a clip that they showed of Reverend Robert Short channeling a space alien. I've skewed a bit male. Maybe Eva Mendes. She's a talented actor. Nightmare housemates, well, the nightmare ones are more fun in a way. I think I'd secretly like to be with the nightmare ones, if that isn't a paradox. Kim Jong-il would be good. Silvio Berlusconi. Kim Kardashian West. I've got nothing against her, but I just think it'd be kind of weird. We'd be talking past each other. And finally, we'll throw one more. Jacob Rees-Mogg. I think what would be nightmarish about that is that we were at university at the same time, and I didn't know him, but the fear would be that I'd end up getting along quite well with him, and that it would be kind of a mortal blow to any credibility that I have, that I'd end up being getting along with him, and then somehow instead of humanizing him, it would make me look like even more of an entitled little twit than I actually am. Okay, my God, that was a hard question to answer, Rylan. You gave me an assignment. I did my best. That was hard. Next up, my friend John Ronson, who was the first person I interviewed way back at the beginning of 2020 when we first started the podcast.
Louis, it's me, John Ronson. Hi. I don't know if this is a brilliant question or a trite question that you've been asked 100 times, or somewhere between the two. Maybe it occupies a magical place between the two. But here's the question. If you were making a documentary about yourself, which aspect of you and your life and personality would you focus in on? Okay, bye.
Thanks for that, John. It almost feels a little unfair. Like, John's obviously a very acute and thoughtful journalist, and he's kind of got me in a judo hold with that question, because when you ask someone, what question would you ask yourself, you're basically saying to the guy who runs the bank, if you were robbing your own bank, how would you rob it? So I would be curious about who Louis is in his relationships and what his relationship is with his wife, Nancy, who seems far too good for him. What's going on there? How did he manage to keep a hold of her? And who is he on the home front? And in what ways does his work, which seems to take him away a lot, how is he able to balance the ledger? Like, does he just have a very supportive family? But also, I suppose, what is he compensating for when he goes out and spends time in a slightly creepy way building rapport with subjects who most other people might not want to spend time with, certainly if it's paedophiles in a mental hospital or criminals in prison, or just putting his sort of bent, pointy nose, his disgusting beak-like proboscis under the rock to sniff at the seamy, smelly, insect-filled underside, right? Why does he do that? What's his fascination? What is he looking for? Some aspect of himself? Is he making himself okay with his own dark, ugly, disgusting, depraved and predatory instincts? There's something deeply wrong. Okay, I'm pulling out of that.
Hi, Louis, it's Ruby. Hi. We meet twice in a lifetime. I just want to know, what did you think of me after you interviewed me?
Okay, that's an interesting question. What did I think of Ruby after I interviewed her? Ruby brought so much honesty and vulnerability to the conversation. And, I plead guilty to having, on my side, had feelings of kind of complicated feelings to do with knowing that I was the object of Ruby's scorn, right? Or whatever it was, resentment. And, Ruby had been on Adam Buxton's podcast and said that whenever she heard my name or whenever she was asked about me, she felt like throwing up. I'm paraphrasing, but it was along those lines. Throwing up was mentioned. I did a deep dive into her programs, which I hadn't really done before. And that gave me a kind of renewed or even a new appreciation for what a talented program maker and interviewer she is. So the short answer is, I felt very positive, felt kindly, I felt affection. I felt affectionately towards Ruby. We move on to Gail Porter, TV presenter, broadcaster, and advocate for mental health, who I spoke to last year.
Hi Louis, it's Gail Porter here.
And her daughter Honey.
Honey! We would like to know,
what would your epitaph be?
My epitaph, that's a cheerful thought, isn't it? During a pandemic. My epitaph would be, here lies Louis Theroux, Nobel Prize winning TV maker and peace activist, brackets, he won the Nobel Prize in both categories, close brackets. What other illustrious accolades could I have won by then? In his 50s, he branched out with Michaela Coel into drama writing starring in some of his own productions alongside his cousin Justin. His frozen head lies under this headstone, which will be reanimated according to instructions that are held by Elon Musk, who has developed technology that means that Louis is actually just in suspended animation and not in fact dead.
BBC Sounds, music, radio, podcasts.